morning and
The news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And happy Friday. Bring on the weekend, right?
Yes, weekend is right around the corner. August already halfway over with.
Wow.
Can't believe that, too. But we got a great Friday on tap, Gary. Looking fantastic weather-wise. Take a look outside right now. In fact, right behind us in downtown Utica, we have some quiet conditions out there. We're going to closely watch the potential for fog to form, but for the most part, conditions are rather clear across the state. In fact, almost completely cloudless skies. Temperatures very refreshing in the 50s right now. The dew points are low. We got low humidity today, which is the great news as well. Radar, of course, showing dry conditions and that weekend forecast. So we've got some good news and bad news. Well, I guess depending on whether you need the rain or if you want the rain to fall on a weekend. It's just dependent on how this rain falls. But either way, Saturday has trended more unsettled, but Sunday has trended more on the dry side. We'll explain the details on that coming up shortly. But for now, again, today, weather's looking fantastic. There's no rain expected this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-80s with, again, that low humidity. Going to be one of the nicest days we'll have all summer again, and we'll again track that forecast for the weekend and what follows that. Maybe a cool down on the way coming up in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks, and don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. Well, new this morning, police in
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Time now is 5:12, going on 5:13 on this Friday morning. Happy Friday, everybody. Now, today it's a quieter start. I'll look at some traffic cameras this morning. Got plenty of clear conditions. Slowly monitoring some fog forming, but for now we are expecting mainly clear skies. In fact, looks like some fog forming in Hamilton. But that's really about it. Our traffic tracker green across the board. A heads up for an accident, though, as you head down to Vernon. Looks like it's not zooming in here. Let's see if I go back. Here we go. Now it's zooming in. Right on County Route 23, Cooper Street at Wood Road. So right here is the accident. So it's not along Route 26 or 31 on that side road. So it's not a very vital roadway, but just a heads up that there's a crash right there. So today, temperatures start out in the 50s and 60s, very comfortable, refreshing start. And then by this afternoon, lots of sunshine moves in, highs climb into the mid-80s with low humidity. That's the key here. It's going to be a beautiful afternoon. Get out and enjoy it. By tonight, things might turn unsettled, especially south, and we are tracking some unsettled conditions this weekend. We'll track that coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The boat launch at Hinckley Reservoir.
Omni, cutting-edge surgery without the cutting.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. We are starting out the day today with relatively quiet conditions and temperatures in the 50s in Utica. A live look at downtown Utica right now. In a quiet morning out there. 58 the official temperature. And we look at the radar and satellite, and following that front that moved through yesterday, we're going to start to see that drop in the humidity. And also that high pressure in place here today is going to drag in some refreshing air from Canada. So we've got a beautiful Friday on tap today. Temperatures going from the 60s up into the mid-80s by this afternoon. But look at this. The dew points in the mid to low 50s by 5 p.m., 6 p.m. You have any outdoor plans this evening? You got great weather for it. Maybe find a place to go out and enjoy the outdoors tonight. This weekend, though, might be a little bit more on the unsettled side, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But first, some updates on the path of Tropical Storm Erin. The reason why we're focusing on this is because it's expected to reach major hurricane status right off the coast of the U.S. as a Category 4 or 3 hurricane by the beginning of next week, toward the end of the weekend. And the general path of it has it somewhat eclipsing the Atlantic coast, but it's staying out to sea. Still, though, this might impact waves, surf, winds along the coast of the Atlantic, but we'll keep a close eye on it because, again, this is a strong hurricane and it's heading up the Atlantic coast. So anytime we watch a hurricane or something form like this, it's always good to play cautious. So back to our local weather. Today, high pressure is in place, keeping things dry. Watch what happens tomorrow. We've got this trough setting up and the potential for a few pop-up storms due to that high humidity. So humidity back on the high side again for your Saturday. And then this is the update to the weekend forecast. A lot of changes the past few days, but watch this. This cold front moves in and it just kind of falls apart here and there as it moves over us. Now, this is something that you couldn't see until this morning with the data just coming in. So that's how we're able to tell that this front is likely going to fall apart for the most part before it reaches us. But again, today it's sunny, it's dry, it's pleasant. Chance of a passing shower south. Other than that, it is a quiet overnight. Saturday, isolated thunderstorm or two. Otherwise, lots of sunshine. Storms might last maybe 5, 10, maximum 20 minutes. Then Sunday comes in. Here comes that front. Temperatures climb into the 80s. And then that front passes over us. And again, you see here, not a whole lot of storm activity. So don't count on rain this weekend, despite us having storm icons there. Then, as we head into next week, our next round of rain looks to arrive Wednesday. Even then, some of that might even fall apart too. So it's just the time of storms and rain chances just fizzling out here and there. So, but it is going to be cooling down next week. Highs in the 70s for the first time in quite a while. So,
yeah, definitely enjoy today. Eric, thanks. The time right now is morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. Will our lack of rain continue this weekend? Meteorologist Eric Gage over in the Weather Center. And Eric, you say there's a chance it might end, right?
Yeah, we're going to be tracking a couple of thunderstorms this weekend. It's not going to be steady, consistent rain, but a stray thunderstorm chance both Saturday and Sunday. But today, though, it will be entirely dry. Let's take a look at what's going on outside here. Downtown Utica, a live view. It is a quiet morning out there. What I'm looking at also off camera right now is our satellite feed where we can see where that fog is developing. Parts of the Adirondacks and the southern tier are where that fog is most prevalent. Outside of that, really, much of the state is fog-free. We can see it right here on our map with clear skies reported in Hamilton, Rome, Albany, Syracuse, Rochester, and then, of course, in Binghamton, where that fog is trying to form right now. A radar is entirely dry early today, and again, back to that weekend forecast. We are tracking a couple isolated storm chances both Saturday and Sunday. We're going to time that out coming up in just a few minutes. But again, today, expect beautiful weather, lower humidity, temperatures peaking in the mid-80s. A great summertime day to wrap up the work week. And again, we're going to track those rain chances coming up in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. President Trump heads to...
Watch News Channel 2 live on Peacock.
This portion of News Channel 2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery in Delhi.
Welcome back to Sunrise, everybody. Time now is approaching in on 6 a.m. in just a few minutes, and the sun, while it's still starting to rise, of course, a frequent flyer this time of the day. Some mourning doves. How about this? Look at this photo here of a mourning dove, which adorably is too big for the feeder, which was the title submitted to this photo here. So this one made me smile this morning. I hope it made you smile, and hopefully she was able to get out of the very small bird feeder there. So shout out to Sue for submitting this photo. And again, this was taken in West Winfield. If you have a photo like this you'd like to share with us, send it to WKTV.com/weather/pic. So today, it is a relatively quiet start. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s. 58 in Whitesboro and Little Falls, 59 Hessville, 56 in Cooperstown, and we're going to track that heat this afternoon in the 80s, but without that humidity. So like we saw earlier this week, we'll track that plus rain chances this weekend straight ahead. Gary?
Thanks. The State Department of Agriculture is
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Today we're tracking a dry morning and a dry afternoon with lower humidity. It's going to be one of the nicest days all week long. A live look outside in Utica. We can see, of course, the clear conditions out there early today. Radar and satellite picking up on high pressure right over our area, which is, of course, dragging in all that refreshing air from Canada. So it's a pretty nice start to your day today. Temperatures in the upper 50s, low 60s. And today's high climbs into the mid 80s. But despite this warm temperature, the humidity is on the lower side, cooling down, or at least lowering throughout the day today. Rainfall chances non-existent as high pressure again keeps things entirely quiet. And so while things are quiet today, we'll give you an update on the latest path on Tropical Storm Erin, which currently is at 70 miles an hour and is moving west-northwest at 17 miles an hour. This is important to track too because this is expected to reach major hurricane status by the end of the weekend and by the beginning of next week, Category 3, maybe 4, and it's going to hook up north toward the coast of the U.S. But this is expected to continue out to sea. We're just continuing to watch it because although it is predicted to stay outside of the U.S., this still could impact our area, or at least impact the coast of the Atlantic with some high tides or high surf and strong winds. So we'll closely monitor that. But again, for now, this is not directly impacting us here in central New York. In fact, what is directly impacting us is that high pressure today, keeping things sunny and dry. As we head into Saturday, this approaching system is going to fire up a few thunderstorms. They're going to be few and far between, but still possible. And the latest update on Sunday's forecast has this front coming in, but watch as it moves east, it just falls apart. And this is the latest data we've got coming in just this morning on the overall behavior of that front. So it means less rain Sunday, as if, of course, the debate on if you want rain on the weekend or we do need the rainfall. So depending on if you want rain or not for the weekend. So today, temperatures climbing into the 80s, lots of sunshine. Tonight, it's quiet, downpour possible south of Route 20. Tomorrow, isolated storm chances, biggest chances south of the Thruway. And then Saturday shapes up pretty nice overnight into Sunday. And then Sunday afternoons when that front begins to move in. And again, those downpours and showers, few and far between. So your 7-day forecast, pop-up storm chances Saturday and Sunday. Then following that, it dries up Monday and Tuesday. Highs in the 70s, 73 the high on Tuesday. What a difference, Gary. The high for Tuesday this past week was, I believe, 90, 91, 92 degrees. So we've got quite a difference in that weather.
It's been quite a hot stretch.
Yeah.
Eric, thanks. The Thrilla at Unity
News with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Friday. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
A lot of stuff going on this weekend, and the weather, at least today, looks great so far, right?
Yeah, looking at a top 10 day of the year again. I feel like I've dished them out frequently, but don't worry about it. It's so nice out. We'll enjoy the nice weather. Today outside, a live view from downtown Utica from the Nexus Center camera. As you can see here, it is a beautiful scene out there this morning. Yes, there's some isolated pockets of fog, but much of the state is clear and fog-free, as we can see here. 56 in Rome, 54 Hamilton, 60 in Syracuse, and that fog developing in parts of the Adirondacks at Saranac Lake, as well as in the southern tier. So it's a dry morning. Radar showing quiet conditions. However, this weekend might favor a stray storm or two. Now, this is not a washout by any means. It's not raining all weekend long, but just make sure you're weather aware Saturday and Sunday of any outdoor plans about the potential for a passing downpour, maybe rumble of thunder, lasting maybe 15, 20 minutes tops. So we'll track these coming up in a few minutes. But again, today, Look at this weather right here. Lots of sunshine, mid-80s the high, and that low humidity. So we'll be tracking that rainfall plus a potential cool down next week. All that and more straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. Well, new this morning, police...
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise, everybody. Time now is 6:12. Happy Friday. Today, it's shaping up rather nicely. We begin with comfortable conditions out there. Temperatures in the 50s, some spots approaching 60 within the hour. And dry conditions across a lot of our traffic cameras this morning as well. We look at the visibility map here, too. Unlike the past few days, fog is not as widespread. Only a few isolated pockets you can see here. 5-mile visibility in Hamilton and some other pockets, mainly in the southern tier and in parts of the North Country. I do think, though, there's going to be some pockets in, say, the Oneonta area early this morning. Our traffic tracker is green across the board, except we do have an accident to report to you guys. It's right outside of Vernon. As we zoom in right here, this is right along Cooper Street at Wood Road. There's a crash along this road right here earlier this morning. Not on the main route, just a heads up if you're heading in that direction. There's a crash reported right there. So today, quiet start. A cool one to start this morning in the 50s and 60s. This afternoon in the 80s with low humidity and completely dry weather. Enjoy the sunshine today because we're tracking a few downpours tomorrow and Sunday. We'll time those out coming up in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The boat launch at Hinckley Reservoir will...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. Today, sunshine, lower humidity, and just dry weather. Great end of the work week today. Live look at downtown Utica. We're seeing those dry conditions out there right now with near cloudless skies today as well. Only some areas of isolated fog, especially in the North Country, or the Adirondacks, I should say, and the southern tier. It's 56 in Utica right now. Let's take a look at some of our sky watchers. Send in your temperatures. Those of you who send in temperatures every morning, big thank you. 58, Bob and Clinton. 59, Mike in New Hartford. Todd in Westdale at 54 degrees. Bill in Old Forge, 54. And heading to the south, Deb and Hardwick with 57 degrees. So much of the area in the 50s this morning. And the radar and satellite showing high pressure, which is allowing these temperatures to fall as low as they are right now, dragging in that cool, refreshing air from Canada, allowing us to see that beautiful weather we're going to be expecting today. And yes, it climbs into the mid-80s this afternoon, but again, it's a warmer heat with a lower humidity, similar to what we saw earlier this week. So say, for example, Monday and on Sunday with that dry heat, expect something similar to that today. So while weather is quiet, we can talk about something that's pretty active in the Atlantic. Tropical storm Erin, which is taking place right now. The wind is around 70 miles an hour and is moving west-northwest at 17 miles an hour. It's expected to reach major hurricane status, either as a Category 4, Category 3, and it's going to hook up the coast, staying out to sea, and then hooking its way back east again in the North Atlantic. However, this still could impact the East Coast in terms of some high surf and some stronger winds. So we'll keep a close eye on it because, again, this is the most notable hurricane or even tropical system in the Atlantic right now we're looking at. But what will be affecting us directly will be, of course, that high pressure today, but also we have a series of rain chances. So Saturday, a trough sets in, high humidity ushers in a few isolated downpours. Then Sunday, watch what happens this front. It moves in. The latest data shows it falling apart a little bit as it passes over us. Now, we still could track a few downpours, but at least for the most part, the rain not widespread. So today, it's dry, it's sunny, highs in the 80s. Tomorrow, after a quiet start, maybe a stray downpour in the southern valleys overnight. Chance of a passing downpour in the afternoon Saturday, and then the same thing on Sunday with a passing thunderstorm as that front begins to push its way east. As you can see this moving in right here. So your 7-day forecast this weekend, it's not a complete washout, a stray storm chance here and there, mixed in with some sunshine. So a pretty average weekend for summertime, although a lot of pockets of the area will be rain-free, and that dry weather, or at least the dry soil conditions, continue. Eventually, we could see some widespread rain, but it just the short-term forecast shows none of it right now.
Yeah,
so.
those lawns just keep getting crunchier and crunchier.
Crunchier and crunchier, Gary.
Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us again. And thank you for joining us for this half hour. Will we finally see some much needed rain? Meteorologist Eric Gage is actually tracking some rain, possibly for the weekend, right?
Yeah, and there could be some pop-up storms Saturday and Sunday, but I would say don't count on it to bring you some much-needed rain. It'll be hit or miss, luck of the draw pretty much. But today, Gary, it's beautiful out. Let's take a look at the current conditions out there this morning. Live look at downtown Utica. We got blue skies out there, the faint sunrise there in the distance, and the temperatures this morning pretty comfortable. We begin in the 50s, mid-50s in the Mohawk Valley, with some fog in the Adirondack southern tier, including parts of, say, Oneonta, which is foggy at this hour. But for the rest of the state, it is a sunny and clear start. Radar is dry this morning, and yes, when it comes to that weekend forecast, well, Saturday has trended more unsettled, but Sunday has trended less unsettled, so I guess it's a trade-off here. But we're going to look at this in a lot more detail. We're going to time out the impacts of these storm chances Saturday and Sunday in a few more minutes. But again, today we're talking about sunshine, 80s, and low humidity, which is the most important thing here. So you go outside this afternoon, it will not feel like 85. It'll feel a little bit more refreshing. We're going to take a deeper dive into those storm chances again this weekend and talk about a potential cool down next week in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. President Trump
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise, everybody. Today on this Friday, our photo of the day gave me a smile this morning. Hope it makes you smile. This is a photo sent in from Sue in West Winfield. Shout out to those of you watching from West Winfield this morning. And look at this amazing photo right here of a mourning dove, which I believe got more than she bargained for being inside this bird feeder. A little too small for her, but hope she'll be able to find her way out. But it is an adorable photo right there of the mourning doves. And again, one of my favorite bird calls too in the morning as well. The classic call, of course, I can't say it, but for those of you that are bird experts, you know the bird chirp I'm talking about here. But either way, if a photo like that you'd like to share with us that could possibly brighten someone's day, send it to wktv.com/weather/pics. So today's temperature starting out in the 50s this morning, 57 Whitesboro, 51 Otter Lake, and 58 degrees in Earlville. And today we'll see those highs climb into the 80s, but with low humidity. Beautiful Friday on tap. We're going to track some rain chances this weekend. The details on that coming up in just a couple of minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The State Department of Agriculture is warning people.
Most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Happy Friday, everybody. Lots of sunshine out there today, but some pockets of New York waking up to some fog. As a similar culprit here in Oneonta, a live view from the city down there from Hartwick College. Temperature 57, so even though it is foggy, much of the state also seeing those lower temperatures in the mid-50s. Matter of fact, from our sky watches this morning, we are checking in first off in New Hartford at 59 degrees, Mike in New Hartford, Bob in Clinton 58 degrees, Todd in Westdale at 57, Bill in Old Forge with 54 degrees, and then heading south, Devin Hartwick with 57. So pretty consistent temperatures this morning across the area. And these cooler temperatures are driven in by an area of high pressure dragging in that lower humidity air from the north. In fact, we can see that on our day planner today. Those high temperatures peak in the mid-80s, but again, those dew points are going to be in the low 50s to mid-50s. So a much more refreshing day today. Enjoy it, because by tomorrow, the humidity is back on the rise again. So while things are quiet and sunny today, a beautiful Friday is on tap. We are tracking a pretty active Atlantic, at least what's going on with Tropical Storm Erin. Currently at 70 miles an hour, it's heading west-northwest at 17 miles an hour. It's expected to reach Category 3, maybe Category 4, major hurricane status right along the coast of the U.S. Now, we are thinking it's going to hook its way back east again, missing the U.S. entirely, but it might influence the shores with some stronger winds, maybe some higher waves. But for now, this is not directly impacting us here in central New York. We'll keep a close eye on it, though, especially as we head into next week. So what is affecting us directly is high pressure today, then a trough tomorrow with high humidity could fire up a few thunderstorms, but most importantly, what's going on Sunday. There is a difference compared to what we were tracking over the past couple days. New data showing that that front is going to fall apart a little bit when it reaches us, meaning we're going to be seeing a lot less widespread rain and a bit more scattered to isolated thunderstorms, as if we haven't really had that happen the past couple of weeks. These fronts begin to fall apart here and there. So temperatures today in the 80s, sunshine, low humidity. Tonight it's quiet, potentially a passing downpour south of Route 20. Tomorrow, best shot for a pop-up storm is south of the Thruway, and then isolated storm chances in the area throughout the evening. Then Sunday, it's a dry start, patchy fog, highs in the 80s, and there goes that front. A few passing downpours here and there. Otherwise, a mainly dry day. So this weekend, do you have any outdoor plans? Just make sure you budget some time to head indoors for a few minutes in case a downpour passes over you, but I wouldn't cancel anything. It's still going to be mainly dry, temperatures in the 80s, a typical midsummer day here in central New York, I guess. And then by next week, into the 70s. A little bit of a cool down after these 90s and 80s we've had the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I know. I was out golfing yesterday, and the clouds got dark. About 10 drops came down.
Oh, really? Yeah, I
drove
drove and missed a couple of downpours. Rome got slammed. Other parts, that storm just fizzled out as quick as it formed.
Yeah, we need it.
Yeah.
Well, the Thrilla at Unadilla requesting in for Eric today. First off, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to be up here.
And you brought great weather for us.
I feel like that's been my trend lately. Before in the past, that was not it. And now I come on beautiful day and beautiful day out there today.
It is picture perfect.
Humidity is down, so that's nice. Blue skies, let's take a look. Current conditions out there right now, 79 degrees. We're going to get into the 80s as we continue throughout the afternoon. But look at that dew point in the 50s. So although we're going to be warm, we're not going to be dealing with all of that humidity, that stickiness when you step out the door. So it feels kind of comfortable as you head out for your Friday. And across the state, lots of sunshine. Temperatures right there similar in the low 80s, upper 70s. And we'll head through the next couple of hours. Sunshine will stick with us, mostly clear skies for tonight as well. We are dry on that Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. As we take a look at that sneak peek into the weekend, humidity back on the rise, temperatures back on the rise. Also watching for some isolated showers and thunderstorms, but don't worry, have a look at what we can expect as we head into Saturday and Sunday. That's coming up. For now, we'll head back over to you, Gary.
Samantha, thanks. Another former corrections officer charged in...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Samantha Wessing.
Good afternoon and happy Friday. Hope everyone has some great plans ahead for the weekend. Weather-wise, doesn't look to be too terrible, but we are going to bring back that humidity and that heat as we head into the weekend. There's that beautiful shot again of downtown Utica. Look at those beautiful blue skies. Today, picture perfect weather. Not only are we feeling comfortable out there, we have beautiful sunshine that we get to deal with today in temperatures. Right now, in the upper 70s, and that's pretty much the case. As we look around our area, we're going to be dealing with the upper 70s right now, low 80s as well, 80 in Westmoreland, 75 though up in Inlet, down to our Southern Valley, 76, 8 in Cooperstown, 75 in Oneonta. So like I said, with that humidity, not going to feel it today. Dew points sitting in the 50s, so it's going to be very comfortable as we head outside, but we're really going to start to feel it as we head into the weekend, especially Saturday and Sunday. sticky feeling, more of that little tropical feeling out there. So that humidity back on the rise before we not only cool down, we also feel a relief in that humidity to start next week. Pretty clear on that radar and satellite high pressure. That's what's in control for today, giving us this beautiful weather. But let's take a look at the bigger picture. What is going to be happening as we head into the weekend? So like I said, high pressure in control, bringing us the beautiful weather for today into Saturday morning. But as that begins to push on out, see right there above me, cold front. It's going to start to swing on through. Now, any of the rain we're going to see on Saturday, that's all due to that heat, humidity, that moisture in the atmosphere. That's why it's going to be a little bit more pop-up. But as that high pressure begins to push on out, that cold front begins to swing down in, that's going to run the risk for some isolated showers and thunderstorms on Sunday, but also a little bit of a cool down as we head into next week. Now, I'm going to bring a little bit more localized so we can see what's going on as we head into the weekend. Not much will change as we continue throughout Friday, mostly clear into Friday evening as well. As we head towards your Saturday morning, some clouds will slowly begin to build in. Most of this, though, looking to happen south of the thruway. Same thing with that rain. Like I said, all that instability, that moisture, it's going to cause some pop-up showers, maybe a couple rumbles of thunder as we head into your Saturday afternoon. Most of that, again, occurring south of the thruway, but keep an eye to the sky. Not everywhere we see it, so it's not going to ruin the whole weekend either. We especially dry out as we head towards Saturday evening, and then we do run that risk for some isolated showers and thunderstorms on Sunday. As far as our first hurricane of the 25 season, right now looking to stay coastal as it continues towards midweek. The Leeward Islands, Virgin Islands could see some of that heavier rain, but it does look to stay coastal as we continue towards the middle of the week. Again, for today, sunshine, highs into the mid-80s. For tonight, we're back down into the 60s. Great night to open those windows, mostly clear. There's a look at your 7-day forecast. Isolated showers and thunderstorms for both Saturday and Sunday. Not going to ruin any plans, though. They're going to have some couple downpours in them. We stay hot, we stay humid this week, and then you can see that slight cool down. As we head towards next week, we're back down into the 70s with more sunshine on its way.
Top 10 day of the year right here, right?
Today is perfect.
Wow.
I could take this every day.
Oh. Move to San Diego,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
They have it every day. Samantha, thanks. Well, the first meteorologist, Samantha Wessing, in for Eric today. And boy, you have a habit of bringing us just gorgeous weather.
I know, and I get out a little early today. I'm going to have to go back to my regular job after this, but I get out early.
Oh, good for you.
So going to definitely try to get out and enjoy it.
You should.
I hope you do, too, though.
I will.
Hope so. Beautiful blue skies out there. Currently 79 degrees, but that dew point, 52. That comfortable feeling when you head out the door. So even though it's going to be a little bit warmer, as we head towards the afternoon, we're not going to feel that stickiness, that humidity that we sometimes feel during the summertime. It's around the state, 70s, 80s, lots of sunshine right there across central New York. Beautiful day as we head through the next couple of hours. Sun sticking with us, mostly clear as we head into tonight. So that's really going to drop those temperatures down into the 60s as we head throughout the overnight hours. So another great night. Open those windows, let that fresh air in. We are dry on that Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. And as we take a sneak peek to that weekend ahead, we do have the chance for some isolated storms and showers. They're not going to ruin the whole weekend. Something to kind of keep an eye to the sky for, but that heat and that humidity right back in for this weekend. I have a full look at what we can expect for the weekend ahead. That's coming up. Back over to you, Gary.
So thanks, the Attorney General for the District of Columbia.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Samantha Wessing.
Good afternoon. Picture perfect day today for our Friday. So TGIF right there. Gorgeous weather. Feels comfortable outside. Temperatures in the upper 70s, low 80s. Blue skies and lots of sunshine. We'll see that right here. Downtown Utica camera. Temperatures in the upper 70s. Take a look, though. Those fair weather clouds out there. Beautiful blue skies. Gorgeous day all day today before ahead of that heat and humidity back for this weekend. Temperatures across the board pretty much all the same. Low 80s, upper 70s as we continue into this afternoon. Looking to top off around the mid 80s for our high here today. 79 in Cooperstown, 77 in Oneonta. Like I said, the humidity back on the rise. We're going to feel comfortable today. Dew points in the 50s. Very nice feeling as you step out the door. Just feeling that heat from the sun. As we continue on into the weekend, humidity back on the rise before we have a cool down ahead for next week. Radar and satellite, not much going on. Look at those clear skies out there for today. All of that controlled by high pressure for today. As we know that, beautiful weather, high pressure. Let's take a look, though, at the bigger picture, what's going on as we head into the weekend. Like I said, there's that high pressure system remaining in control as we head into our Saturday morning, keeping us dry for the morning hours. Now, as we continue, all that moisture, that instability in the atmosphere due to that humidity, that heat, it's going to bring that chance for some pop-up showers as we head towards the afternoon and as that high pressure pushes on out. What we're going to be watching, though, cold front up to our north. That's going to swing on down, and that's going to bring the risk for some showers and thunderstorms Sunday afternoon. But it's also going to bring a cool down in our temperatures by the start of the work week. Now let's make this a little bit more localized. Take a look at that Storm Tracker 2 Skycast. Not much will change as we continue throughout Friday. We stay clear, we stay sunny right on into the early evening. Clear skies overnight, so notice that dip in temperatures as we head throughout the overnight hours. Some places getting into the upper 50s, low 60s for our overnight low. By the start on Saturday, we'll be back into the 60s to begin the day, and we're talking back into the upper 80s, close to 90 by Saturday afternoon. And there's that chance for those pop-up isolated showers. A couple rumbles of thunder possible. Most of that looking to stay south of the thruway. And as we head into the evening, that will clear out. And we do stay dry as we head into Saturday night. And then, like I said, that chance for isolated showers and thunderstorms returns by the afternoon on Sunday. Highs today back into the mid-80s. Lots of sunshine out there for today. Mostly clear tonight, back into the 60s. Let in that cool air overnight. Definitely open your windows as we head into the evening tonight. There's a look at your 7-day forecast. Warm and humid over the weekend, and then that cold front. You see that difference in temperatures as we head into the start of next week. We're back down into the 70s for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Burr.
I know it's going to feel very cold
boy.
out there. I know that cool down right there. Watch
Put the heat
out.
on, right?
Exactly.
Samantha, thanks. Well, it's back to school season, and
Yes, with meteorologist James DeFazio in for Bill. And beautiful day today, beautiful day yesterday.
Fantastic
Chance we
tonight.
could see a little bit of rain, which we need right now over the weekend.
Couple spotty showers during the afternoon, but they are going to be isolated and scattered. We are tracking a little bit more of a widespread rainfall potential for next week, so we're not going to see an extended 7 days of dry weather like I forecasted last Friday. We're going to see a couple isolated storms over the weekend. Most of us stay dry. We're going to pinpoint the exact timelines of that coming up in just a few minutes. But tonight, perfect conditions. Mostly sunny skies in downtown Utica. We're in the mid-80s right now, but temperatures are going to slowly cool off over the next couple of hours and become even more comfortable. Low levels of humidity. Dry weather continues on your Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar at least until Saturday afternoon. 87 degrees currently up in Rome, sunny skies, dew point all the way down into the 40s, making it feel even cooler than the actual temperature, a refreshing air mass in place. That changes overnight tonight. We're going to take a look at how humidity works its way into our region overnight tonight. But tonight, if you can get out and enjoy the evening, I highly recommend doing so. It's a top 5 night with temperatures in the upper 70s and plenty of sunshine. Jason?
James, thank you. We're following breaking news just in.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Friday evening. Tracking a nearly perfect start to the weekend and an overall pleasant weekend with a couple chances for rainfall, but overall, most of us continue to see dry weather into next week. Currently 87 degrees with mostly sunny skies in downtown Utica. And there's no clouds out there. Widespread sunshine. That continues tonight and into the overnight. We continue to see incredibly pleasant conditions this Friday evening. These sunny skies are also coming, despite it being in summer, with extremely low levels of humidity. And unfortunately, that changes. We have a nearly perfect start to the weekend. Perfect temperatures tonight, perfect weather tonight, low levels of humidity. We're tracking that humidity really build back in overnight. It's going to be around for the entirety of the weekend, unfortunately. And a few weak thunderstorms roll through the area, both Saturday afternoon and on Sunday afternoon. Currently in Rome, 87 degrees with sunny skies. A 49-degree dew point, an incredibly refreshing air mass in place. Very, very, very comfortable air out there tonight. Low levels of humidity continue through this evening. It's a great night to get out and enjoy an outdoor activity if you're interested or able. Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 radar is completely dry. There are not only no showers to show you, there are little to no clouds across New York State. Watch what happens to the dew point. We just saw that it's currently 49, the dew point at Griffiths and Rome. As we head into the overnight tonight, those dew points begin to rise, and we're going to get a much more moist air mass as we head into tomorrow. Both of the afternoons, the next over the weekend, Saturday afternoon as well as Sunday afternoon, we're going to see dew points in the mid to upper 60s. So it's going to be not tropical, but muggy. Definitely going to be humid conditions this weekend. We're entering a pattern change. We're seeing a big shift in the weather over the next 6 to 10 days. We're going to be seeing much cooler weather settle in for the Northeast. We're going to be saying goodbye to those above average temperatures, and we might have a period, a brief period of temperatures slightly below average. We're tracking dry weather continue this evening. Lows tonight are going to be in the low 60s for Utica and Rome, but the rural areas get much cooler down into the 50s. Tomorrow afternoon, those stray showers roll through the southern regions between 3 to 5 p.m., but most of us stay dry. Similarly, again on Sunday, a round of rain works through during the mid-morning to early afternoon, and then drier conditions work in. Tonight, mostly clear skies, temperatures in the 60s in the cities of Utica and Rome. The rural area is getting much cooler. A look at your 7-day forecast. After this relatively scattered and isolated shower of a weekend, we start the week with beautiful weather in the mid-70s, and then fortunately, much beneficial rain in the forecast. Tuesday into Wednesday, the first soaking rain we've really tracked in a long time, looking to arrive on Wednesday.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Vegetable prices, meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Friday evening. We continue to track a phenomenal Friday evening. Temperatures are a little warm right now, but they're going to drop very steadily. Unfortunately, the sunset now right at 8 p.m. We're back to 8 p.m. sunsets in Utica, which is why that icon there is depicted with darker skies. Fortunately, though, that allows temperatures to decrease a little bit quicker, so we're going to see some comfortable conditions this evening. It's a great night to get the dog out for a walk. Louie and Gussie are featured dogs tonight from New Hartford, two absolute cuties. Our current temperatures, our current conditions, 87 degrees. Again, very warm still. Temperatures are going to begin to drop over the next hour or two. We're still seeing extremely low levels of humidity. Dew points in the 40s, incredibly impressive. By this time tomorrow, we're going to be seeing dews in the mid to upper 60s, much more humid weather, and we're going to be tracking that steady return tonight. We're also keeping an eye on a pattern change, as well as a couple of days of much cooler weather during the middle portion of next week. This is also going to accompany some much needed rainfall. We're going to be tracking that rainfall, as well as the opportunities for, we're going to be tracking those opportunities for much needed rainfall coming right up. Jason?
All right, James, thank you. The 2025 Herkimer County Fair continuing into the week.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Friday evening. We're tracking beautiful weather this evening, and it's going to continue into the start of the weekend and for the majority of the weekend. A couple of isolated showers during the afternoon hours. Other than that, we're going to be seeing very pleasant conditions for the entirety of the weekend. Tonight, almost perfect conditions. Low levels of humidity, few to no clouds across the skies, widespread blue skies. We're still hanging on to very warm temperatures. It's still 87 degrees. We're going to see that slowly tick down over the next couple of hours. It's a nearly perfect start to the weekend with a beautiful night with a beautiful air mass in place, but unfortunately humidity returns tonight. It builds in from the south. We're going to be noticing a big uptick in the dew point. We're tracking the chance for a few weak thunderstorms this weekend. Both would occur during the early to mid-afternoon hours of Saturday and Sunday. 87 degrees with sunny skies up in Rome. A 49-degree dew point indicating just how dry that air is out there. Incredibly refreshing levels of humidity. Unfortunately, that is going to change if you can, and get out and enjoy it while it lasts tonight if you're not a fan of the humidity. Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar is dry, quiet, and it stays that way through the morning hours of tomorrow. We begin to see changes as we head into the afternoon tomorrow. Take a look at what happens to the dew point overnight tonight. We go from 50s, and yes, we're even in the upper 40s right now. We climb all the way into the mid to upper 60s both Saturday and Sunday afternoon. It's going to be noticeably much more muggy over the next couple of days. We're also tracking a relatively substantial pattern change across the Northeast. We're going to be seeing we're favorable for below average temperatures now for the last week of August, and it does look like we're going to have some bouts of cooler weather even as we head into the middle portion of next week. A couple of cooler days before we warm back up to more normal temperatures. Clear skies tonight, and temperatures steadily decline. Lows tonight in the low 60s in Utica and Rome. Mid to upper 50s for the rural areas north and south of the valley. Tomorrow afternoon, those showers develop primarily south of Route 20 and primarily between 3 and 5 p.m. After 6 p.m., we really dry out. As we head into Sunday, we begin the day dry, but unfortunately, during the afternoon hours, a quick round of showers works through. Again, not everyone's seeing rain, very isolated showers, very scattered showers. We're going to be keeping a very close eye on where they develop. Tonight, very clear skies with lows in the low 60s for Utica and Rome. We'll look at the 7-day forecast. We're finally tracking a soaking rainfall. Wednesday, finally bringing much needed rainfall to the area. Not quite sure on how much rain yet, but it looks to be a slow soaking rain.
The forecast with meteorologist James DeFazio.
Now, we're tracking a few thunder showers these afternoons, both Saturday and Sunday afternoons, but nothing like those flooding storms from back in May, nothing severe level. Most of us stay dry this weekend. These storms are going to be few and far between. We'll break them down coming up in full weather exactly when and where we think that they're going to develop. But currently tonight, dry, beautiful weather continues with low levels of humidity. Mostly, I should say, entirely sunny skies. There's no clouds to be found out there. Dry weather continues on your Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. That continues through the morning hours of Saturday. Showers do begin to develop as we head into Saturday afternoon. 85 degrees now in Rome. We're down to 85 with sunny conditions. Incredibly comfortable levels of humidity. A very low dew point. Unfortunately, we're tracking that to change. That changes big time overnight tonight. The type of air mass is going to be noticeably different by tomorrow morning. But tonight, get out and enjoy it while you can. Temperatures in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees with sunny skies. Coming up, we'll take a look at that increasing dew point as well as those chances for rainfall. Jason?
James, thank you. New at 6, 220.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Friday evening. Beautiful conditions this evening after a nice, warm, sunny day to end our work week. And we're going to begin the weekend with very beautiful conditions. Some of us may not see much rain at all this weekend. Some of us may see a couple rounds of showers each afternoon, but none of us see widespread rainfall until later next week, even though many of us do need the rain. Mostly sunny skies in downtown Utica, dry, not humid. Temperatures are beginning to drop from the upper 80s down into the lower 80s. It's going to be a very, very comfortable, perfect night to get out and enjoy any outdoor activities that you may be interested in partaking in tonight. Humidity returns overnight tonight, a big change in the dew point. We're going to be noticeably more humid for the entirety of the weekend in comparison to tonight. And we're tracking a few of those weak thunderstorms each of the next 2 afternoons. 85 degrees with sunny skies up in Rome, and yes, a 50-degree dew point, comfortable levels of humidity that only continues through the evening hours tonight. Once we head into the overnight, a much more humid air mass works its way in, and that helps brings us those chances for showers. Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, quiet and dry. Not only are there no showers out there, it's hard to find a cloud tonight. It's incredibly, incredibly quiet. That changes as we head into tomorrow afternoon. The other thing that changes, that level of humidity. We are in the low 50s right now for dew points. By tomorrow afternoon, dew points climb into the mid to upper 60s. They do the exact same thing again on Sunday afternoon, mid to upper 60 dew points. Much more humid air than what we're seeing tonight. We're also tracking a pattern change. Cooler air is going to settle into the northeast for several consecutive days. We're going to see a couple of cooler days next week, but as we head into 8 to 14 days out, the last week of August also favoring some below average temperatures. Taking a look at the skycast this evening, clear skies continue, lows tonight in the low 60s. The rural areas dipping into the mid to upper 50s, much cooler north and south of the valley, but Utica and Rome hanging on to low 60s. A couple of scattered showers tomorrow afternoon fire up primarily south of Route 20, and these develop between 2 and 4 p.m. By 6 p.m., they've shifted off to the south and come to an end. As we head into Sunday, we begin the day dry. However, a round of showers works through. Again, they're not widespread, they're short-lived, and they're light, and they move through quick. Tonight, lows in the low 60s for Utica and Rome, cooler north and south of the valley due to those clear skies. A look at the 7-day forecast. Yes, we have rain on the 7-day forecast. We're tracking the chance for showers to develop Tuesday night into Wednesday. And I'm thinking Wednesday could be a true soaker. We're looking at our first, what I would call widespread rainfall, first chance for widespread rainfall in quite some time. We'll be right back.
Time now for a first look at the forecast with meteorologist James DeFazio. We're dry around New York State. We're okay right in this immediate area of Utica, but
we're keeping a very close eye. We all need rain. Utica may be outside what is currently in the abnormally dry category, but some of us are still dealing with drought-like conditions.
the lawns are brown. Let's call it as it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've measured no rain at my house yet in Utica, so we're continuing to keep a very close eye on all showers and all rainfall chances. And there are a few chances for rainfall this weekend, but we're really looking at the middle portion of next week for the next big chance to break this drought. Tonight, 67 degrees with clear skies in Rome. It's a big variance in temperature across central New York. Currently 52 degrees up in Old Forge, 67 in Rome, 71 in Herkimer. So big spread in temperature depending on your location tonight, and that's going to continue as we head into the overnight. Some of us hanging on to upper 60s to near 70. As I mentioned, some of us have already dipped down into the upper 50s. So a big spread, and that's common this time of year. Dry weather continues through the first half of Saturday on your Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. A couple of scattered showers and storms do develop tomorrow evening, and we're going to take a look at where they're most likely to appear. Again, tonight, lows will be very variable, but within Utica and Rome, right around 63 degrees with clear skies. Jason?
All right, thank you, James. 2 men were hospitalized.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Friday evening. Beautiful day across central New York with plenty of sunshine, warm temperatures, and low levels of humidity. And we're going to see very nice weather continue into the weekend, but we're going to notice a noticeable difference in humidity by tomorrow morning. We're going to watch the dew point rise consistently overnight tonight. Humidity returns throughout the overnight. It's a mostly dry weekend, but there are going to be a few weak thunderstorms, primarily thunder showers around. Tomorrow, most of them south of I-90. And then keeping an eye on a chance for widespread rainfall. Haven't been able to use those words in a while. Wednesday looking favorable for rainfall. Your current conditions, 67 degrees with clear skies in Rome. Big variance in temperatures across the region. Beginning to tick back up. Dew points during the 5 p.m. hour were between 49 and 50 degrees, up to 57. We're going to see these rise consistently, unfortunately. It's going to continue to get more humid. Dry weather on your Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, and it stays dry through the morning hours of tomorrow. Unfortunately, the dew points steadily rise. We're going to see dew points tomorrow in the mid to upper 60s as opposed to low 50s like we saw today. It's going to be noticeably more humid, not tropical, but certainly muggy. I want to give you the latest on Hurricane Erin. She has now strengthened to a Category 1 storm. She is forecast to get all the way up to a Category 4. Fortunately, this is going to miss land. Right now, this is completely skirting all islands. It's even forecast as of now to stay away from Bermuda. Primary concerns with this are going to be rip currents along the east coast along the eastern seaboard. Tonight, dry conditions and a big spread in low temperatures. It's currently 52 degrees in Old Forge, but yet 67 in Rome. So we already have a 15-degree difference, and that's depicted here at 6 a.m. 61 in Utica, but 46 in Old Forge. So low 60s for Utica and Rome. Possibly mid to upper 40s for the North Country. We warm up steadily through the day tomorrow, the Utica area getting up into the upper 80s. These showers break out between noon and 2 p.m., and they quickly come to an end after about 6 p.m. Most of them are to the south of Utica. However, we can't rule out a sprinkle across the Mohawk Valley. And it's a very similar story as we head into Sunday. Very, very scattered showers, very, very isolated, a luck of the draw type rainfall. That hopefully changes as we head into next week. As we look at the 7-day forecast, after a dry, comfortable day on Monday, things begin to change as we head into the second half of Tuesday. A big change in air mass is going to work up the eastern seaboard, and I believe that by Wednesday we see widespread rainfall. I don't know how much rainfall we're going to see just yet, but I expect us all to see some beneficial rain.
Now for a first look at the forecast with meteorologist James DeFazio. We're a little concerned it's been a lot dry
Yes,
lately.
we're not necessarily in drought conditions across central Nida County according to the drought monitor, but we're seeing very close to drought-like
Lawns are brown.
conditions. Lawns are browning. They're very crispy. They're getting crunchy as you walk around. So we're keeping a very close eye on rainfall, and we're going to continue to keep a close eye on all chances for rainfall because every little bit that we're able to get is going to help alleviate these hydrological issues. Fortunately, we do see some light at the end of the tunnel. Temperatures right now in the mid-60s in Rome, 65 degrees with clear skies. Clear skies are going to continue tonight. We're going to continue to see humidity make its return. The dew point has slowly been creeping up over the last couple of hours. We're going to unfortunately watch it do so throughout the overnight and into the day tomorrow. Temperatures vary greatly across central New York. In the Mohawk Valley, we're still in the upper 60s. Old Forge at 51 degrees already. So a big spread in temperature based on your location. If you're in the Mohawk Valley, your lows tonight are going to be in the low 60s. North and south and on the hilltops in the rural areas, going to be in the upper 40s to low 50s. Dry weather on your Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. That continues through Saturday morning. Showers begin to develop early Saturday afternoon. We're going to track those coming right up. Again, lows tonight for Utica and Rome in right around 63 degrees, but much, much cooler both north and south of the valley. Coming up, we'll track those rainfall chances. Jason?
James, thank you. Two men were hot.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Good Friday evening. We were treated to a beautiful end to the week with fantastic weather today. Low levels of humidity, widespread sunshine, warm temperatures, and that nice, pleasant weather continues into the weekend, but unfortunately a few changes occur overnight tonight. We're going to see humidity begin to increase steadily overnight tonight. We're going to have a noticeable difference in the air quality. When you wake up tomorrow, you will be able to feel that uptick in humidity. It's going to be a mostly dry weekend, but we are tracking a few weak thunderstorms during the afternoons of each Saturday and Sunday, and possibility for widespread rainfall during the middle of next week. Things are looking favorable as we head towards Wednesday of next week for a widespread rainfall event. 65 degrees with clear skies up in Rome. Dew point beginning to climb, but not yet overly humid. We're into the mid-50s. We're going to see the dew points by tomorrow afternoon reach the mid-60s to upper 60s. Much more humid environment. Your full battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar is quiet and dry. It stays that way through the morning hours tomorrow. Again, we're tracking those scattered afternoon showers tomorrow afternoon and evening. Dew point steadily rises overnight tonight. It continues to rise during the day tomorrow. Both Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon, we're going to be seeing dew points in the mid to upper 60s. So very muggy conditions. Not quite tropical. We're not into the low 70s for dew points, but still definitely noticeably humid. I want to take an update on Hurricane Erin. Continues the most recent update, 11 p.m. Sustained winds are up to 100 miles per hour. Fortunately, this is still forecast to perfectly evade land. This is going to rapidly intensify into a Category 4 storm and go up the eastern seaboard. However, as of right now, expected to miss land, and the primary concerns are simply dangerous rip currents along the eastern seaboard. Bermuda needs to continue to monitor this situation, but still, at this time, expected to miss Bermuda as well. Skycast tonight indicating those clear skies. Lows tonight vary greatly, about a 15-degree difference. Low 60s for Utica and Rome. Mid to upper 40s across the North Country and Old Forge. Old Forge already down to 50 degrees this evening. Tomorrow we start dry, but by the afternoon hours, showers develop primarily south of Route 20, and they don't last too long. By 6 p.m., they come to an end and drier conditions settle in for the overnight. We start on Sunday, dry as well. A cold front works through during the day. It's a relatively dry passage, but a quick shower cannot be ruled out during the early afternoon. A look at the 7-day forecast. Pleasant weather settles in on Monday, a dry day behind the cold front with temperature settling into the mid-70s. Rainfall makes its return on Tuesday night into Wednesday morning.